It's beautiful.
Isn't it?
How old do you think it is?
Thousands of years at least.
What? What is it?
It's a Stargate, obviously.
It looks like a time machine to me.
Mate, look at it.
Well, sure, but come on, you never know.
Whatever. Let's just get to work. This thing isn't going to study itself. Oh, wow. The redstone is crazy. That course says I'd love to get a look at this.
I'm sure he would. Speaking of, why did you bring me along instead of him? Surely he'd be better with all of this stuff than I am.
Oh, well, he got wrapped up dealing with something at home.
Mate, you can't smash it. It's a supporting beam. It's holding the base up. Look, it's very sorry for offending you. It is. It is. It told me to tell you that.
Ah, I see. Well, I'm glad I could help.
What happened?
I just tried to push one of the panels back in.
Warning. Critical error. Temporal meltdown imminent. Warning.
Oh, no.
Aha! It is a time machine! Well, we are in quite a predicament, aren't we?
Hello?
What are you doing here?
I don't know. I was at my shop about to be possessed by a demon, and then I was here.
Possessed by a demon?
It's a whole thing.
What is this? What happened?
Well, while I was studying the Stargate in the Slum Temple, something happened. It just went haywire, and it sent us all here.
So, where are we?
When are we?
What?
Turns out the Stargate was a time machine. So we could be 100 years in the future, we could be 100 years in the past.
But we have a way to go back, right?
Oh my goodness.
We're screwed.
Hey, everybody, calm down. This isn't as bad as it seems.
How? We're stranded in the middle of nowhere with no access to anything. How's this not horrible?
Because the server's been through worse. Look, we all thought the same way when Diamond City was overrun. We had to abandon everything we'd ever known and loved to survive. And for a long time, we thought we were done. But we weren't. We pushed on. We pulled ourselves out of the ashes and built new lives and a whole new city. And eventually, we returned to Diamond City and took it back. We survived back then and we'll survive now. Sure, it'll be a lot of hard work, but we can set up a new city, one just as good as Diamond City or Red Star. We're the Diamond Society, for Pete's sake. Are we really gonna let some stupid little temporal anomaly break us?
Heck no.
Besides, what's the worst that could happen?
You just had to jinx it, didn't you?
Who are you?
Look, we don't want any trouble, alright? We're the Diamond Society, and we got, well, teleported away from our home. We're just lost.
A likely story.
I bet you're all just more of them Skylords come back to destroy the land again.
Let's deal with them now before they pull anything.
No, it's true. Look, aha!
What is that?
A diamond cane.
Where did you find it?
I made it.
You made it?
Yeah. Do you guys not make things?
Well, no. We're wanderers. We use whatever we can find.
We could show you how to make one if you want.
Really?
Sure, we could show you how to make all sorts of things, like picks and swords. Could even show you how to enchant and use redstone.
All we'd ask for in return is your help.
Sure, I'll help you.
Me too.
Me 3.
You can't be serious.
It's better than just getting into another fight, I suppose.
Yeah.
Let's work together. You can do this. You can do that. You can make better than before.
You guys seem cool.
You can make it stronger.
Nice to meet you.
You can all go right.
Nice to meet you.
We're
not all
good.
good.
Yeah.
I will take the
Of course.
Get some chow mein?
I can go down main.
G'day folks, Cortez here. It is Season 3. I've got a little bit of armour, a sword that's about to break, and I've also got the foundations of a villager trading hall. So it is day 2 on the server for me. We all jumped on yesterday and pretty much everyone just played for hours and hours and hours, so I've got a fair bit done. See a little bit of nonsense going on here, but before I get into all the little thingies I've been doing here, let's get a bit of a bird's eye view, and I'll tell you what's going on with this season. Now, if you've watched the Diamond Society for a while, you'll know that we always do a theme in each of our seasons. So Season 2 was a steampunk theme, and Season 1 was modern building. This season is ancient civilizations, and we can't really see that far from where I am here, but that area over there is going to be all Egyptian themed builds. In the jungle there it's Aztec. You can just see the mountains over there. That's going to be Tibet and China, and I'm in a little non-sort of area here. So we've marked all these districts on a map. We've got tons and tons of them. We're doing medieval and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I'm sort of in a little area between districts, and I am going to be building above ground this season. So usually I'm a mole. I dig in the ground and I hide in there. Not this season. I mean, I'll do a little bit underground. Well, let's not get carried away, but mostly my base is going to be way up here in the sky. I'm going to be building the Tower of Babel. Now, the Tower of Babel is pretty boring, so I'm going to build a cool version, but I'm going to have all my technical stuff on the inside. Now, I wanted to build this in the middle of a lake, but I was out of luck. There are no lakes around here, so I found this spot, and I think this will work because I've got this river that curves all around the area here, and you can see I'm right in the center. So the plan is, much later on when I get a beacon, I'm not doing this with the tools I have now, but I'm thinking I'm going to clear all this land out and make a lake. It's not because I'm afraid of mobs coming up on me. Like I do have my clock already, but that's just from villager trading. I'm not a scaredy cat. So anyway, that is the plan, and we're doing the base of our tower is going to be the villager trading hall, and as quickly as I can, I'm going to be putting an iron farm in there as well. It's always great at the start of a new season. Look how many people we've got playing now. Lots of new members there. Got quite a few people from the old V for Vanilla server have joined us, so that is really, really cool. So anyway, my villager trading halls, you're probably thinking, well, he's doing his bigger villager trading hall, the one I did a tutorial for. Well, I'm not actually doing that one. I thought about it. But what I'm doing instead is 3 of my easiest villager trading halls, and I've mucked up the glass there, silly me, go away. 3 of them all facing the center here, so I can stand in the middle and trade with them all. Now, I'm gonna use an iron farm as my guy who thinks he's the only guy in the village. So you would have seen my my combined villager breeder and iron farm tutorial. I did that one because I was saying that all the villager breeder iron farm combos I'd seen were just an iron farm with a villager breeder attached. That's pretty much what I'm doing here. I'm doing an iron farm up above, and the villager trading hall is going to be attached to it. And I got the idea from one of my subs, actually. He sent me a world download of basically a build he'd done combining all my little farms into one big one. And this is what he had. He had this kind of setup for his villager trading hall with the iron farm above. But what I really liked is he did my carrot and potato farm, villager farms, and used some of the villagers in the iron farm to basically be the villagers in those farms. I'm not explaining this very well, but what I liked about it is all the carrots and potatoes that were getting harvested by the villagers ended up in little chests just in the ceiling of this room. So as you're trading, I've done it again there. As you're trading, you can just look up to the chest and grab out all your vegetables and trade away with your farmers. And I thought that was cool, so I'm going to be doing kind of a version of the world that he sent to me. So I've got some villagers packed away here, and I've got a few breeding in that little room there. So I've just got a bunch of doors here, so they'll breed up to, I don't know, 5 or 6 villagers. I only need a few to get started, but I might just open all these doors because I thought I'd forgotten to place some there, but I think the zombies have come along and broken them, so they're not going to try and break down an open door. So I'll just do that quickly. And other than this, though, I've got a few animals stashed about, but basically, for the moment, I am living in a hole. So this is completely temporary. I'm going to try and get out of here as soon as I can, but so far, I've got the AFK fisher. Haven't used it much yet because I can't really use it until I get a mending fishing rod. So I can fish for 5 or 10 minutes before my rod breaks, and then I got to make another one. I'm pretty good for string though. I traded BC. He's got a string farm already, so he gave me a stack of string for a stack of steak. I had plenty of steak. That's how I got the enchanting table. I've learnt from starting a bunch of new worlds. There's really no point fencing off a bunch of cows really early and then trying to get enough wheat to feed them and get your leather that way. I mean, I've got it now, but what I did is I just ran around everywhere killing every cow I saw, and then when I came to build this, I already had all the leather I needed. This enchanting table hasn't been very good to me yet. I haven't got any silk touch and haven't got any fortune 3, so yeah, pretty horrible. But for once, I'm actually keeping my storage organised. This is really cool. So, yeah, that's about all there is to see in here. And it's about to be night time. We'll have a little nap. One thing that's different this season, we must have a new command on the command block for the one person sleeping. It takes a while to get running, so you're basically trying to fall asleep, you're waiting for daytime to come, and often you can see the mobs spawning around you while you're waiting. So pretty much every time when you wake up, there's a fight to be had, and apparently it works faster if more people on the server try and sleep at the same time. See, Coop's sleeping as well. We might even get a third person sleeping. Yep, there we go. So that'll speed it up, and hopefully we don't have to have a bit of a battle here. But yeah, it's taken a while. I think... Are we okay? No, we're not okay. These guys don't worry me. It's the creepers. Alright, let's head past this guy. See you, mate. I'm going this way. And I've got a little farming plantation over here just to feed the villagers. I think he's catching up on me. No creepers, please. Thank you. I think I'm okay. So I've got this going. This is all temporary just to get a bit of food to get things started. But yeah, I think I've pretty much shown you absolutely everything I've done on the server so far. Oh, I made a nether tunnel out to a mining desert, but that's about it. Hey dude, boom! Oh, you little... And I'm using the new texture pack permanently now, so that means I can build with polished diorite. It actually looks good in this texture pack, and actually it goes pretty well with the cobblestone, so I'm happy with that. So our base is going to have a lot of this diorite. If someone else with a different texture pack comes to visit, It might look a little bit horrible, but anyway, I am going to get started on finishing this. Alrighty, I've made a little bit of progress. I finally got a pick with Fortune 3, so I've decked myself out in diamonds. None of it's enchanted though. Usually early game you mine for XP, or you try and find a spawner, set up a little XP grinder, but I want to use trading with villagers to get my XP, and until I get this baby up and running, I'm a little bit stuck. So I think since last time we spoke, I've doubled the size of this thing. All I've done really is put a roof on my soon-to-be villager trading hall and built a crazy-looking iron golem farm up the top. We'll get back to that though. It didn't take that long really, because I made a point of only using materials that I could find in this area, so I wasn't running around all over the place. Like this area used to be covered in white flowers. But I grabbed all of them because I could make light grey dye with that. So that's light grey concrete, and you can see over there I've just used plain old clay. So whatever I had lying around and that was handy. I made a little bit of a mistake though. I put the entrance over here, but all my storage was under that hill, which I've started destroying because I'm running out of stone. This is all I've got left. So yeah, I've moved everything out of there except for my AFK fisher, which I still haven't got a rod for, so it's kind of useless, and except for my mine shaft, which is still there. So this is my new temporary storage area. The reason I say it's temporary is because this is supposed to be book storage. So I've got my villager trading hall on the other side, and I can put all the books in from over there, and then I can grab them out again on this side, because this will be my enchanting sort of anvil area. So it's just temporary storage at the moment, but it's working out pretty good, and the place is looking nice, I think. And because this is going to be a tower, I'm not going to have doorways here. I'm probably going to have staircases going up to the tower eventually. We're a long way off doing that though. So this place is looking pretty good. I've got all the walls done, got the ceiling in. You can see the iron golem farm up there. The golems are going to fall straight through the middle here, so that'll look pretty cool. And this is what I was trying to explain earlier. These are going to be the chests that have all the contents from my automatic farm. So carrots, potatoes, pumpkins, sugar canes, all going to flow into them, so I can quickly grab them to trade with the villagers. And the idea is I'll have a bunch of other chests behind this one, and as they fill up, a redstone lamp will come on to indicate that I've got another full chest behind this one. None of that's rigged up yet. I don't have any iron for all those hoppers, so we will get to that eventually. But yeah, this place is looking pretty cool. I've just got to get it up and running. I've done down below, so I've got the carpet down there so the villagers can walk onto there, and pushes them up high enough that they get sucked into the boats. So this will be cool once I get it running. Now the reason I said this was a funny looking iron golem farm is, I don't know if you noticed, but that chute where I've got the golems coming down is a 3x3. And usually in golem farms you have a 2x2 hole with a, up the top here you have a 16x16 spawning area. But that's an even number, and I wanted it on an odd number, so everything's symmetrical. So I've made the hole a little bit bigger, and then the spawning area is probably 17x17. It might even be 19x19, I'm not sure. But I've just pushed the doors out a little bit wider, so it should work just fine. And you'll notice I've got all these individual little holding cells for villagers, because I don't want them close enough to each other that they're going to breed. Because the way this entire contraption is supposed to work is this will be the iron farm's basically going to be that guy in a villager breeder who is all alone by himself, surrounded by 6 doors. But what I've done is I've got 40 doors, so the villagers will continue to breed until they can get to 15 villagers. But I've only got about 12 up here. So the guys down below in the trading hall will look up there and say, oh, the village needs more villagers, and they will keep breeding. So if these guys can get close to each other, they'll breed, and then that'll just shut the entire thing down. So let's get up there. So you'll notice up the top here, I've got 2 farms. I've got one there. Well, it's not a farm yet, it's just a patch of dirt. And the other one there. This is going to be for carrots and potatoes because I figured we've got all these guys in holding cells. Might as well put at least a couple of them to good use. So while they're being guys in the iron farm causing the iron golems to spawn, they'll also be producing goodies for me. Now, I've got about 7 villages down below encapsulated in little mounds of earth so they don't get killed. And rather than set up a proper breeder, I mean, I've got sort of a breeder down there. Rather than set up a proper one and then try and bring them all up one by one and get them into each holding cell, what I think I'll do is I'll just bring 2 up here and put them into the iron farm. You can see I've blocked off that little chute there. So once they're in here, if I feed them, they're going to breed. So I'll just, rather than use minecarts, I think I'll just put them in a boat and then use a piston to push them up high enough that I can get them over to here. And yeah, once they're in here and I start getting babies, I can then just knock through a wall and you can see we've got all our little holding cells right here. So just one by one, I'll knock through a wall and push them into where they're supposed to go. And I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it. Okay, guys, I've got a very long and arduous day ahead of me. Bringing some villagers up to here, breeding them up, and getting them to where they're supposed to go. So I'm not going to bore you with that. I'll just bore myself with that, and that'll probably take the rest of the day. So we will check back in a little bit later on. So I've finally got all my little guys in their holding cells. That strategy I used of breeding them inside the golem farm and then pushing them out, I highly recommend that. That was fantastic. Only problem was I didn't get any farmers out of that breeding, so I had to put a couple of librarians in those auto farms on the sides. I've since bred a farmer in my villager trading hall, and you can see I've got a bit of dirt here. I just brought him out here in the boat, pushed him up with a piston, and swapped him with the librarian. So I've got one more to do on that side, and then we are done. So this is how you do it. Push the dirt up with piston, put another block in place. You got the boat on top of the dirt, and they go up nice and easy. So guys, I think we're going to call it there for the episode. I've got to think of what I'm going to do next, and I think that will probably be some auto farms. I've got to get rid of this area here. You can see I've done sort of like a temporary auto farm with the sugar cane. Although I don't know if I'm going to go with this design for when I do my proper one. See, the observer block picks it up and one piston will shoot out and break that bit. And it's a good design. It uses powered rail to cut down on lag, but the problem is so many items get stuck up here on the dirt, and an item just sitting there causes lag. So any lag I save by using the powered rail instead of redstone, I'm kind of losing by having the item sitting there. So I really need slime blocks because they will bounce the item forward, and it's much easier to collect. It doesn't really get stuck on this bit of dirt as much. So I don't have any slime. So maybe we won't be doing the sugarcane just yet, but pumpkins and melons I can definitely do. So I've got to figure something out for next episode. But until then, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed episode 1 of season 3. Hopefully I'll get a nether portal set up soon and we can run around the world and see what else is going on. And don't worry, my base isn't going to remain that ugly forever. It'll just remain that ugly for a long time. See ya!